I would say that there's nothing more comforting than a big, delicious, slurpy bowl of ramen noodles. So today, that is what we're making, a vegan peanut butter ramen with crispy tofu. It's gonna be so good. I'm not saying this is an authentic ramen recipe in any way, shape, or form, just a really delicious bowl of cozy, comforting goodness. So let's do it. Hair is up, so you know we mean business. We're gonna start by making our crispy tofu first. And I just wanna say that this is one of those recipes you could just customize this. Throw in whatever veggies you like, use however much tofu you like. If you wanna swap the tofu out, if you wanna leave it out, you know, this is just like a totally customizable recipe. Use this as like a jumping off point. I got half a block of super firm tofu here. I'm just gonna cut it into cubes. This is like a little bit more than half a block, but we'll call it half a block. I also have been really loving, there's a soy-free tofu by the brand Big Mountain Foods, I think that's the name of it, and it's really good. So if you can't have traditional tofu made with soybeans, I definitely recommend that one. There we go. Lots of little tofu cubes. Right here I have a baking sheet and I have the silicone mat on it. It's like slightly too large for it, but it's fine. We're just going to put the tofu down. You can use extra firm tofu if you want to. I just wouldn't go any lower than that on the tofu firmness scale. To give our tofu just like a little bit of taste and seasoning, I'm gonna first spray it with some olive oil spray. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic powder. Guys, the sun is just not on my side today. It keeps going in and out, and it's going like really bad in and out. So sorry if the lighting ends up being a little wonky. Like this is exactly, the sun just came out so bright. And then it'll probably go away in a second. And I'm also gonna sprinkle some salt on here just to give it some flavor. Just mix it around, kind of get everything coated. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's just to give the tofu a little bit of flavor. Gonna give it one more spray of olive oil. I like the olive oil spray because it's just easier to coat a bunch of pieces with. This is going in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15-20 minutes till it's crispy. We got two things we gotta chop up for sauteing. The first is gonna be our garlic. I'm just doing 2 garlic cloves, but you feel free to do however much garlic that you like. Chopping it up, you know, till I kind of get annoyed. That's usually like I do things. I'm like, I've had enough chopping of this, I'm over it. I'm just going to chop those 2. We're gonna use half of them for like garnishing, you know, putting it on top of the ramen, and half will go in the pot. In my pot, I already have half a tablespoon of oil in here just so it can start heating up. So we'll add in the garlic. I have this on pretty low because I don't want anything to burn. I'll raise it slightly, but it's on a very low heat. And then I'm also gonna do like half of the green onions. The other thing that we need to add in here is a little bit of ginger paste. I'm just gonna do a squeeze like that, about a teaspoon. Just kind of let everything saute and sizzle up. I'll just give it a little mix. All you're looking for here is for the green onions to start getting a little bit darker green and the garlic to turn a little bit fragrant. You're not looking for too long here, just like a minute or 2. So after we've had some sauteing, we're gonna add in 2 teaspoons of soy sauce, about like 10 grams. We're gonna do 1 tablespoon of agave, which is 21 grams, or you could do maple syrup. And then we're gonna add in about 1.5 tablespoons of peanut butter, which is about 24 grams. You can just give it all a mix around. I'm doing this over super low heat. The peanut butter will start to bubble like a little bit. You wanna mix it up. Like just let the agave and the soy sauce and the peanut butter all kind of meld together. Also, this right here, just on its own, is insanely delicious. If you ever just want like a yummy peanut sauce. I'm gonna just add in half a cup of water. This is just to start. We'll add in a little more water later, but just so I can help dissolve that peanut butter into the broth. So we pour this in now. So we have our nice, delicious broth all done. Before I put my ramen in there, I just want to show you what ramen I'm using. I'm using a protein ramen. It's from Imi Eats. Now you could of course use whatever ramen you like, but I have like protein goals and muscle building goals, so I like to sneak in protein where I can. So this is really good for that in case you're just curious, but there's so many. The Right Foods ramen is really good. The Lotus Foods brown rice and millet ramen is great for gluten-free. Actually, is this gluten-free? I don't know if this is gluten. No, this has wheat gluten in it, so this one's not gluten-free, but the Lotus Foods one is good for gluten-free. I think most ramens, as long as you don't use the seasoning packet, are vegan-friendly, which is fine because we're not using the seasoning packet for this. We just want the noodles. Oh my goodness, the sun. So you could use whatever ramen you like, but you just need one pack, and I'm using this one. It's the black garlic chicken from Emmy Eats, in case you're curious. Our broth is nice and boiling, bubbly, so I'm gonna throw in our ramen. Looks like that. So I'm just gonna pop that in there. I also just love to sneak in greens wherever I can, so I'm just gonna throw in some spinach. I like spinach and everything. I do like spinach. I guess I'm a true vegan. So just let this boil until the ramen noodles are cooked up. And the tofu should be done any minute now. I just like to kind of go in, try to break up the noodles as they start cooking. It's really easiest to use with chopsticks, of course. So just kind of scraggle them out. You can also taste the broth, and if you want to add in anything else to it. But I think it kind of just tastes so good on its own because it just tastes like yummy peanut butter. The tofu is done. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's golden. It's a nice little crust on there. So super yummy. These are just great for anything, but will be delicious in our ramen. When it comes to plating ramen, I like to try to do it like how they usually do it at a restaurant. I try to get out the noodles, get those in there. And can't remember if I mentioned this earlier, but this could either be a single serving or double serving. So it's however much you want to eat. Get my little tofu cubes. Cute, fun. Another favorite ramen topping for me is corn. This is frozen corn. It's been sitting out so like for the last 10-15 minutes, so it's kind of thawed out, and then when I put hot broth over it, it'll be good to go. So I'm just gonna pour that. We'll also add that remaining green onion, and then we'll go in with some scoops of that beautiful broth. And this, like, if you are a peanut butter lover, you've got to make this. It's so good. I just like to always add a little bit of sesame oil over top, like just a tiny drizzle. That's it. All right, and our ramen is done. It's so beautiful, so delicious. I hope you guys could see that. And I think it's so great for weeknights because you saw how quickly it came together. That looks good. And the broth is so yummy. Let's get a little taste test going on here for you guys. When I made this recipe, I really wanted the broth to just taste like peanut butter. Like, I know that probably sounds weird, but like, you know, like peanut noodles, that was the vibe I was going for. I think we got it. I love the tofu in here for the protein. I love the little corn. I'm not eating too much because it's my lunch, so I don't want to eat too much right now. This broth is so good and it's delicious. If you do have a peanut allergy, you can make this with tahini. It would be pretty close and pretty good tasting. So just as a possible substitute. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. This is the 9th recipe in our fall season. We have one more left. So if you haven't seen the fall recipes I've been putting out, I definitely encourage you to go check them out. I worked super hard to give you guys really delicious recipes this year. You can find the full written out recipe for this on plantfullybasedblog.com. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next week with another video. Bye.